So moving right along, it is now my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Ustazah Tuan Nur Shazli binti Tuan Muda. So before that, let me just touch the tip of the iceberg from Ustazah Tuan Nur Shazli's background. She graduated from IIUM as she took her bachelor's degree in Islamic Revealed Knowledge and Heritage, or Usul al-Din and Comparative Religion, and is pursuing her master's in Educational Psychology, Kuliah of Education, also in IIUM. So as I know, everyone is excited to listen to her talk. So brothers and sisters, let us invite Ustazah Tuan Nur Shazmi binti Tuan Muda.
Oh, sorry, I've been muted. Fine. Alright, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My dear sisters and brothers, thank you for my dearie MC, event coordinator, inshallah, and all the organizer, as well as the good office of spiritual department to invite me once again to become one of the speaker of this Ibadah camp for the third series, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so before that, I want every one of you to, to be aware what a good numbers now. 11 a.m., 11 a.m., and today is 11 June, as well as 11 Zulqa'dah. MashaAllah, what a coincidence, right? Okay, so my dear sisters and brothers, before we go further, let's begin first with Mufurkan Al-Fatihah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim Maliki Yawmiddin Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in Ihdinas siratal mustaqim siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin amin subhanaka la 'ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim qala Allah rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli amma ba'd. Alright. So, my dear sisters and brothers, before that, MC, can you listen to me clearly?
Yes.
All right. So, if happen to be any kind of, problem or any unstable circumstances, please let me know. Let's say like out of sudden, it's not that clear. All right. So,
All right.
okay, thank you. So, welcome to our final session, if I'm not mistaken, to every participant. If can I know, Noreen, how many of them today that's supposed to be with us?
I think like it's supposed to be more than this, but I guess like many of them are joining right now.
All right, so hopefully so. Um, I've been informed this session of Ibadah Camp involving many causes. Am I right? For those, for those not being able to participate before, and they've been gathered in this session. Am I right?
Yes.
All right, good. So, um, hopefully, this is actually not as something new to everyone of you for our third session. Our final session, we are going to discuss about Al-Maw'izatil Hasanah. All right. So, as being pre-informed earlier, and then in your previous session, you already been exposed to the, to the characteristic of students of Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. Am I right? The servant and the real Khalifa of Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala, and also you've been discussed about why Allah actually created you out of nothing. Allah brought you to this world, to this existence, for sure, because its own purpose. Am I right? Because Allah definitely won't be creating something out of His purpose, and His purpose is absolutely the best and the perfect one to match with us. All right. So, my dear sisters and brothers, this is not something that you may be saying like, oh, I don't have any idea about Al-Maw'izatil Hasanah, because it's already in you. Okay. Before that, can I have your good commitment and your good cooperation, since we are having now the online session? not offline session. Basically, if offline session, I can just go to reach you and ask this, and this, and ask your cooperation and commitment of your good response. So this is two-way session, and hopefully you can not only MC need to respond to me, but every one of you. Can I have that?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, mashallah, glad to hear that. I can just pick out any name here. Am I right? Can I? Wow, very good. There are around 138 participants, mashallah. Very glad to see every one of you, and very glad to have you around during this Saturday, whereby at this moment, basically, you can just have your good movie session, good outing, but you're being selected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be with us for this session, inshallah. All right. Okay, so whoever have the pre-idea about what is actually Al-Mau'izatul Hasanah, can anyone share with me? Anyone? I'm waiting for your response. Hello, are you with me, sisters and brothers? Can I have except Nurin, please, Nurin, no, don't be that severe. There are a lot of them. Come on, anyone, before I'm going to pick you out. Itu lagi bahaya. Any savior here? At least you can just share any thought of you in regards to Al-Mau'izatul Hasanah. Perhaps some of you already read about this, or you even heard from any kind of sharing before, or even you already met this terminology in your any class discussion before, in your secondary school perhaps, in your primary school perhaps, in any talk, and etc.
Does it mean advice, ma'am?
Very good. Something like advice. Yes, very good. Very good notion of you. MashaAllah. Thank you, Ayman Zafran. Can I have from sisters as well? Sisters?
I think it's dakwah.
Nurin again. Dakwah, yes, very good, Nurin. I want sister beside Nurin. I mean, other than Nurin. Anyone, please? Any sister here?
I guess the Mau'izah Hasanah is mentioned in the Quran when Prophet Musa is going to da'wah Fir'aun.
MashaAllah, very good, my dear sister. Yes, this is exactly the term that been mentioned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Quran. MashaAllah. All right. Okay, other than that, I have another extreme question, and I believe there is any one of you already have the idea and the answer of it. Okay, as Rubiato ada mentioned just now, this terminology being mentioned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Quran, right? I'm so sorry if you may hear my OST, original soundtrack, you know, being at home at this hour during weekend, you know, how chaotic everything is. Okay, so Mau'izatul Hasanah being mentioned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in what surah, in what ayah, or any one of you can at least recite the ayah particularly, perhaps? Most welcome. Ahlan bikum.
Let me.
Yes, Firdah Hisham, mashallah. Yes, most welcome.
Di ayah a'udzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim ud'u ila sabili rabbika bil hikmati wal mau'izatil hasanah wajadilhum billati hiya ahsan.
MashaAllah. Mabruk, mabruk. Tabarakallah. Fitnah Hisham, yes. Can I know what surah, what ayah?
I don't really remember the surah, but in surah An-Nahlu.
Yes, mashallah. Very good. Very good. Thank you, my dear brother. It's totally beyond my excitement to listen that. Thank you. Thank you, my dear brother, once again. Jazakallah khairan kasira. Yes, exactly. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the term of al-mau'izatil hasanah precisely in that particular ayah in Surah An-Nahl. The surah about Allah named after the surah about the stories of the group of bees. Right, the most the most beneficial, even though it's quite harmful. Bees kan, everyone of us are quite a fear of these bees. It's really harmful, but somehow how harmful these bees are, but they are keep on providing us a very good sustenance, a very beneficial outcome of its honey, mashallah. And it's actually among one of the good shifa, as we mentioned by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Honey is actually one of the good the sunnah intake as well, being really loved by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Exactly. This ayat is what being mentioned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we are going to discover what is actually the very good, the beautiful essence of this ayah later on, inshallah. Okay, so as what being introduced just now, me, Madam Tuna Shazli, I'm from IRK department, and then I'm here to lead you to together discover the topic of Mau'izatul Hasanah, inshallah. All right. Before that, my dear sisters and brother, can anyone of you tell me what you may find from this crossword? Alamak, it's already giving you the answer. How good me. Okay, yes, still can. Anyone, at least one word that you may find.
Can I?
No, Noreen, please. No, Noreen. Noreen, last resort. I have to be quite biased with you, Noreen.
Stories.
Sorry? Yes, Ashraf first. Yes, Ashraf. What do you mean?
Stories.
Stories. Yes, exactly. Very good. What kind of story? IG story? Facebook story? Status story? Good. It's okay. Yes, good. Stories. Yes, exactly. Who's just now beside Ahmad Ashraf tadi? Fatina Milah.
I answer the same answer.
Wow, what a good coincidence, mashallah. What a destiny, perhaps. Okay, so the next one, who else?
Madam, I found reminder.
Reminder, very good. I did Irfan, mashallah. Thank you, my dear brother. Jazakallah. Good. Yes, reminder. Very good. All of those words are totally related with our discussion today. Our topic, Mau'izatul Hasanah, inshallah. So what else?
I found tired.
Tired. Tired. Tired. Exhausted, you mean?
Yes.
Okay. All right, good. The sisters? Thank you, Nuruddin. The sisters just now?
I see the word good.
Good. Good. Is it? You seems like very familiar, Raja Anis. Were you my former student?
Yes, I was in your first sem.
Oh, really? Very good. How are you now?
I'm doing very good, thank you.
Alhamdulillah. All right. Who else? So the previous student mentioned to me, madam, we found SOPA, S-O-P-A-K. Boy, SOPA is not the right answer, then. Even though it's clearly that SOPA, kan? Nampak tak SOPA over there?
Advice.
Advice, exactly. Very good. Yes, advice. MashaAllah. Thank you, my dear Almira. What else? Anything else?
Positive.
Positive. Exactly. Positive. Yes. Very good. Okay. What do you find? How do you find this kind of activity? I really love to do this word search, especially when I really, you know, I'm stuck in certain condition of tests and etc. Because as for me, it's really releasing out something. As what you may, do you ever play the game of a treasure hunt? You find the, the treasure game tu. Pernah main tak? I really love that because it's actually very thrilling and challenging. So, any other answer before we move further?
Guidance, madam.
Guidance. Very good. Yes, exactly. All right, yeah. Thank you, my dear sisters and brothers, for your good commitment. Alhamdulillah. Most of you already got something. Yeah, so the answer is here. Sorry. Okay, good. All right. Who found good just now? Very good. Reminder. Very good. Words. All right. And then guidance. All right. And then advice. All right. Positive. And stories. And last but not least, we have, sorry, before that, teaching. Nobody found this. Is there any one of you who found this but not mentioned? Teaching, as well as news here. So basically, my dear sisters and brothers, all of those things are actually the terminology that could be related, could be associated with our topic of Mau'izatul Hasanah today, inshallah. Right? So before that, great advice. Oh, I just cut to read this. Great advice, mashallah, very good. Okay. So next, all right. As what being read by our brother just now, Allah mentioned is Surah An-Nahl verse 125. A'udzubillahi samil alim minasyaitonir rajim. Ud'u ila sabili rabbika bil hikmah wal mau'izatil hasanah wajadilhum billati hiya ahsan. Inna rabbaka huwa a'lamu biman dhalla an sabilihi wa huwa a'lamu bil muhtadin. So basically from this ayah, Allah mentioned there are three methodologies, the three methods, three ways, three means how to convey the very good message of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. The first thing first, Allah mentioned, Ud'u ila sabili rabbika bil hikmah. Please, my dear sisters and brothers, every one of us, every Muslim, we are having one responsibility to invite people to the way of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala bil hikmah. What is hikmah, my dear sisters and brothers? What is hikmah?
Benefits.
Benefit, yes, very good. What else? When you have to invite people, I will say that you please invite them with hikmah, wisely, with wisdom. So what is wisdom? Comes up. Wisdom is not only to be having the brilliant. Wisdom is actually whenever you are knowing about something and you are using that knowledge in the right way. That is wisdom. For example, you know about how to how to, how to use the right tools. For example, the ingredients to cook very much, alhamdulillah. And each ingredient, for example, the pepper, the black pepper, when to use this black pepper or when to use the white pepper. So that is actually the knowledge of yours, isn't it? But the wisdom is that whenever you know how to pour, when to pour this black pepper, when to use the white pepper, that is wisdom. Because not every single menu you are going to use the same ingredient. Am I right, sisters and brothers?
Yes, madam.
Yes.
So that is actually the needs of wisdom. You know how to pour, when to pour, the most important part. That is actually about the wisdom. Okay, same goes like, okay, for example, I'm going to ask you, how many of you are coffee lover here? Do you love coffee, my dear sisters and brothers? All right, some of you raise your hand. Who else? Oh, tak suka kopi ke ni? Yes, very good. All right, good. Alhamdulillah. So,
Suka, madam, suka.
Masya Allah, very good. Okay. Are you now in campus or not? Or you still at your home?
Campus, madam. Yes,
All right.
campus.
If you're already in campus, you can go to he and she coffee, right? And then other than that, you may have your own, everyone who love coffee so much, you may be having your own priorities. Some of you maybe love make cafe, some of you love Starbucks, some of you love Zeus Cafe, some of you love Gigi Coffee, and etc. And sometimes it's not because of your preference, but because of the lifestyle also counted in, isn't it? So how many of you no, sorry, I restructured my question. Do we in making the coffee, do we pour some salt in?
No.
No. How about the rest? Okay, some say no. Anyone of
No,
you?
madam.
No.
No.
Okay.
Never, madam.
Sorry?
No, madam.
No. All right, good. Other than that, perhaps anyone of you want to say, yes, madam, yes. Ada tak? Okay, so now can I conclude that every one of you vote for no? No salt in coffee. Betul?
Yes, of course.
All right, good. Okay, good. But do you know, little did you know that the good coffee, to make a good coffee, you have to put a bit of salt. And that is why some coffee, they are used the butter or margarine to infuse the salty taste. Tahu tak? Tak cukup suka lagi lah tu coffee. And that is actually the wisdom hidden. Kita tahu macam mana, they know what is actually the taste of salt, the usage of salt, and when to put, but not every coffee lah, certain coffee. And still depend to the taste of the coffee maker itself lah. So this is actually the good info of yours. Same as like when we are making brownies. One of good recipe in making brownies. Do you love brownies? The very sugary one, right? The very sweet. To make a very good brownies, we have at least to pour some of the salt. For sure lah, salt, okay. Not only sugar, okay. Salt together with the coffee powder. This is actually the secret recipe, the secret ingredients. All right. So this is actually to to offer the very good taste as well as the very good structure. Not structure. We don't call it structure. We call it as texture of the brownie itself. Alright. So all of those things is actually involving or needs the wisdom. And then Allah mentioned bil hikmah, the second one, wal mau'izatil hasanah, meaning to say the mau'izatil hasanah is actually another method. What is mau'izatil hasanah? The very good example. We have to advise with very good words. And Allah mentioned the third method, wajadilhum billati hiya ahsan. If there is any argument, if there is any kind of, any kind of others that might be commenting over you, the people they are actually voicing out something over you, what to do is actually what jadilhum billati hiya ahsan. You have to argue in a very good way, not to argue to fight over them, to win over them. No, that is actually not the thing that we meant by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we can see basically these three methods that we mentioned by this ayah is actually the very close one to another, the very interconnected one to another. Hikmah, mau'izatil hasanah, as well as wajadilhum billati hiya ahsan. Invite the people to the way of your Lord with wisdom and good instruction. So mau'izatil hasanah we can also define as good instruction and argue with them in a way that is best. Indeed, your Lord is most knowing of who has strayed from his way, and he is most knowing on who is rightly guided. All right. So, all right, this is the Malay version. All right. So that is actually what we already discovered from the ayah mentioned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All right. Okay, so in discussing further, my dear sisters and brothers, I want everyone of you to watch this clip video, and can I ask everyone of you to at least extract some good points of this video, please? Oh, sorry.
Is there any audio, madam?
Can you listen to that?
No.
No,
Seriously?
no, Ustazah.
Alright, wait. Why you can't listen to this, eh? Wait. Wait. I try to use.
The people
Can you?
Okay.
Yes, madam.
The non-believers arrived at the
So wait, I have to repeat.
but a wise old man who was going to represent the
Alright.
Long ago, there lived a wise king who ruled over a kingdom in which some of the people believed in Allah and some did not. To resolve the argument once and for all, the wise king arranged for a debate between the believers in God and the non-believers. When the time arrived for the great debate, the people representing the non-believers arrived at the court. But a wise old man who was going to represent the believers did not show up. Everyone waited and waited, but the old man still did not come. The non-believers said that he would not turn up because he had no arguments for his belief in God. At last, the wise old man arrived. Everyone wanted to know why he was so late. So the king asked him to explain the reason for his delay. The man explained that he had left home in time, but in order to get to the king's court, he had to cross a river. When he reached the river, there was no boat to cross. Everyone in the court listened attentively. The man continued with his story. He then told everyone that while he was waiting for a boat, some planks of wood and some nails suddenly started coming out of the water by themselves and floating around. Then, just by coincidence, the pieces of wood moved into just the right position, and the nails also went into the wood in just the perfect places until a boat formed all by itself. But it took a while for this boat to make itself, and the old man had to wait, so he was late. All the non-believers were very angry and called the old man a liar. The wise old man asked the non-believers why they did not believe his story of the boat being made by itself, why they wanted everyone to believe that this whole world and everything in it has been made by itself, since they did not believe in Allah as a creator. None of the non-believers could answer the wise old man, and so the believers in Allah ended up winning the debate.
All right, so my dear sisters and brothers, if you get something from this video,
Yes, ma'am, inshallah.
very good. Can I have someone who can just simplify what value do you gain from the clip? Ayman Zafar, perhaps?
Well, the impression I got from the clip is that the old man, he challenged the non-believers, the disbelievers, by pitting their own arguments against themselves, so to speak. That's the impression I've gotten.
Very good.
Without challenging or arguing much about it.
Exactly. Can you see, my dear sisters and brothers, the three methods basically already being used by this old wise man. As what Allah mentioned, bil hikmah, mau'izatil hasanah, wajadilhum billati hiya ahsan. Yes, he did argue with all the other men, but how he argued? My dear brother Hafizuddin, I can see you also got something from the video. Hafizuddin, yes.
Sure, madam.
Which part of Mau'izatil Hasanah you can trace from the clip?
I don't know whether the old man is talking true or false. What do you think? I think Mau'izatil Hasanah in this video is the old man.
True.
I cannot catch it.
You can't catch it. Oh, seriously? All right. Okay. The story was about an old man. This old man was very wise. All right. So only he, the one who believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, while the rest they are not believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And all of a sudden, because they are about to argue, the non-believer, they demand or they requested this old wise man to prove his belief, to support his belief. Is there is any evidence to support his belief? All right, about there is actually Allah. Okay, so he actually intentionally came late. So there were already all the men. They already reached the place, and then the old wise man not to reach yet. So the other man said that, oh, this is actually the old man was not that dare to come lah, because he must not be having any evidence or any supporting argument. All right. So out of sudden, it suddenly came up. And then he just explained, I was late because I got nothing to came here. I have to, I have to cross a river. But out of sudden, there is a medium to cross the river that just created by itself. Got it, Hafizuddin? So when he told that situation, that occurrence to the rest of them, everybody was like, you are a liar. Why? Because there is nothing can just create out of itself. And can we see this is actually the analogy that being used by these old wise men to convey the same message. Oh, if you are not believing in the creation of out of nothing, why you are saying that God came out of nothing? Isn't it? And this world is actually basically came from itself, out of nowhere, because they are not believing that is actually the creator who created this up. Okay, so we can see how tricky, how brilliant, how wise this old man in conveying or in arguing about the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Same goes like we are believing in the existence of our feeling, emotion, for example. Even we are not looking, we can't even see our emotion, our sadness, our hunger with our physical senses. But we are believing there is our hunger, there is our anger, there is the air, there is the other thing that we can't even trace from our physical senses. All right, such a very brilliant argument. All right. So, is that clear so far, my dear sisters and brothers? Have you students got it?
Yeah, clear, madam.
All right, good. So this is actually the way of Mau'izatil Hasanah. You are giving them the lesson via the good instruction, not to undermine that. You are not having the knowledge about this. You are very ignorant. Oh, you are very silly. Not. That's not the way. When somebody is asking you about something, you have to offer the idea. You have to offer the knowledge with this Mau'izatil Hasanah, the very good instruction. And this is what we portray by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Whenever somebody came to see him, to ask about this, to ask about that, he will be using this method. And let's say Prophet Muhammad SAW will not be having the exact knowledge about that thing, he will directly refer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He not just like to act like, oh, Mr. All-Knowing, oh, I think this, and this. No, Prophet Muhammad SAW, even himself, will be acknowledging his ignorance. For example, when we ask, oh, Prophet, when will be the Yawmul Qiyamah? Prophet will be saying, oh, I have no idea about that, because only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala know it's better. Okay, so my dear sisters and brothers, to tell you, to remind you, that's better to acknowledge our ignorance from just acting or pretending that we are knowing about something that we are not actually know. All right? Okay. And then this is the very good story. Whenever we are discussing about Mau'izatil Hasanah, for sure we are discussing about the essence of hikmah, the essence of wisdom. The very good story that we could associate is actually the very good figure of Luqman Nul Hakim, the very good man. And in fact, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala named after the surah with his name, Luqman, Surah Luqman. All right. So once again, please focus and watch this video. Can you listen to the audio?
Very clear.
Not very clear.
Luqman al-Hakim, he is not a prophet, he is not a messenger, but he is a righteous, upright, pious man that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran al-Kareem, that Allah named an entire surah after his name. And they say that Luqman, he was born during the time of Dawood alayhi salam. And he also lived during the time of the reign of Sulaiman, the son of Dawood alayhi salam. And they say that Luqman al-Hakim was born in the southern part of Egypt during the time and the kingdom of Dawood alayhi salam. He moved towards Palestine and he sought knowledge from Dawood, then from Sulaiman. And he was a wise man that people resort to and seek knowledge from. Some of the scholars say he was a slave and his master used to look down at him. His master used to mistreat him. But then when he found out about his wisdom and he found out about his forbearance and his understanding, his master became so close to him. Then at the end, he freed him and he became a free man. And amongst the events that took place between Luqman and his master, that one day the master of Luqman, he gave him a sheep and he told him to go and slaughter this sheep. And after he slaughters the sheep, to bring the best part of him. So Luqman al-Hakim took that sheep, he slaughtered the sheep, and then he brought to his master the tongue and the heart. Then the following day, his master gave him another sheep, and he told him to take it and to slaughter it and to bring the worst part of it. So Luqman al-Hakim went, he slaughtered the sheep, and then he brought back to his master the tongue and the heart. So his master was amazed, and he said to him, please explain, how do you reconcile the two? So Luqman al-Hakim, he responded and he said, how beautiful the tongue and the heart can be, and how bad and evil the heart and the tongue can be. The heart and the tongue are the most beautiful parts in you, and the heart and the tongue can be the worst parts in you. It's with this heart and this tongue that you could win people over, with this heart and this tongue that you could turn people away from you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praised him in the Quran Kareem because of his wisdom, understanding things the way they should be understood. And then we commanded him to thank Allah Azza wa Jal for granting him wisdom. And whoever thanks Allah is only thanking Allah Azza wa Jal for the benefit of himself. Then Allah Azza wa Jal, he speaks about that moment that Luqman al-Hakim tells and gives an advice to his young son, and he says to him, oh my son, do not ascribe partners to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Indeed, ascribing partners to Allah Azza wa Jal is extreme injustice. Oh my son, imagine if there is a weight of an atom seed or a weight of a mustard seed, and that mustard seed was in a rock on the surface of this earth or in the heavens. Know for a fact that Allah Azza wa Jal knows where it is, and know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can see it. In other words, Allah Azza wa Jal can see you wherever you are, at whatever place you are in or out. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can see you. Don't think you could hide away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah knows what we do. Allah knows what we say. Allah knows every action that we take. Allah can see us. Allah can watch us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows of everything that we do. This is the advice that Luqman gave. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can see everything, Allah can hear everything, and Allah knows of everything. Then the third advice is now where he says to him, oh my son, establish the prayers. He did not say to him, pray. He said, establish prayers in your life. When you pray because you have to pray, and you pray because you feel like it's an obligation upon you, or you pray just for the sake of lifting that responsibility of his shoulder.
All right, so my dear sisters and brothers, from this video just now, what kind of wisdom, what kind of more Izzatul has Allah that you can relate to it? The main point that you gain from this video, anyone perhaps can share with me? Yes, Simon, most welcome. Anyone? Perhaps we can have from the sister this time around. Come on. Brothers, sisters. Is there any one of you trying to say something?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Amma. Once again, sorry. I beg your pardon.
Luqman al-Hakim talks to their child, and actually dia panggil anak dia dengan ya bunayya, dan Sayyidina Luqman dia bukan nabi, dia bukan al-anbiya, tapi dia dimudahkan oleh Allah SWT. Disebabkan apa? Disebabkan dia taat perintah Allah, disebabkan dia
belajar daripada Nabi Daud, dia belajar daripada orang-orang alim, daripada Nabi, dan dia ikut apa yang Nabi buat, dia ikut. Disebabkan itu Allah beri dia hikmah. Dengan hikmah yang diberikan oleh Allah SWT, maka dia sampaikan kepada orang yang terdekatnya. Contoh dia bagi kat anak dia, ya bunayya la tusyrik billah. Perkara yang pertama yang nasihat kepada anak dia adalah jangan mensyirikkan Allah SWT. Kerana apa? Bila kita mensyirikkan Allah SWT, maka seluruh amal-amal perbuatan kita, seluruh amal yang kita buat, maka akan terhapus, maka akan tertolak. Tetapi bila kita ada iman sebesar zarah, kalau ada iman sebesar zarah, kita boleh masuk syurga. Kalau tak ada iman langsung, kita akan rugi, kita akan sengsara di dunia dan di akhirat, insyaAllah.
Masya Allah, very good, my dear brother. Syukri, kind of a good da'i. Dah macam gaya da'i dah ni nak bercakap kan, Masya Allah. Yes, exactly as what we mentioned by our brother Ammar. He mentioned about Luqman al-Hakim was not a messenger, was not a prophet, but he been noble. He been glorified by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala until he got a special surah of his own story, you know. Just started by becoming a servant. But in the very good occurrence, whenever his master asked him in two different events, okay, he been given the sheep, and then his master said, all right, go and slaughter the sheep, bring me the good part of this sheep. And the second occurrence was that this master again gave him a sheep and asked him to slaughter, but please bring me the worst part of the sheep. Isn't it? But what happened after? How he responded in these two different occurrences and two different commands. He just brought the same part of the sheep, which was
Tongue and heart.
tongue and heart, our tongue and our heart. As what we mentioned by him, these two parts, tongue and heart, can draw people close to us. And again, this tongue and heart can make the people turn from us. Isn't it as simple as that? A Muslim, as I mentioned by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we should be serving others. We should be becoming a good Muslim. We should always offer the salamah, the peace and calmness to the others by using our tongue, by using our heart. And this is how lovely the way of Luqman al-Hakim in portraying the message. Very good, in a very good direction, in a very good example, in a very good analogy. And it's already been well understood throughout this action of him. A very, very beneficial, very important message that been conveyed indeed, isn't it? And next, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also storied about, okay, another thing that I want to mention is that, I want to highlight is that the story of Luqman al-Hakim that been portrayed, that been dedicated in this surah of Luqman was actually a method of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in using Mau'izatil Hasanah. Allah storied to us throughout this surah. And this is actually one of the methods, stories. How Allah conveys us the ibrah, the lesson of this Luqman al-Hakim through this surah. Is actually one of the methods of Mau'izatil Hasanah. Allah himself did this in a very good way. And if not, we are not going to know the story, the lesson of this Luqman al-Hakim. Am I right? Are you with me, sisters and brothers?
Yes, madam.
Okay. So another thing that we should highlight about story of Luqman just now, whenever Allah mentioned that Luqman al-Hakim called upon his sons and give them some advices. The first advice, the first foremost advice that be given to the sons, Luqman al-Hakim say, please do not ascribe partner to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He did not mention don't do the shirik thing, isn't it? But indirectly, he mentioned, do not ascribe any partner to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As simple as that, we may sometimes beyond our consciousness. We might be believing in something, for example, more than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it may happen in our daily life. For example, we are actually in a very sick condition, and the doctor will prescribe to us, okay, take this medicine and you'll be getting better. And a little bit that we may forget that the real Shafi is actually Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The one who gives us the recovery is only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not because of this medicine, not because of this supplement, not because of this vitamin and all those pills and etc. Isn't it? As simple as that, if we have the very minor acid belief in ourselves is already ascribing the partner to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is why Luqman al-Hakim mentioned that please do not ascribe any partner to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Same goes like, for example, we might be believing in the horoscope, we might be believing in any kind of what we call the fortune teller and etc. Na'udzubillah min zalik. For sure, it's already ascribing any partner to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Or in our Malay situation, there are a lot of pantang larang, isn't it? Our Malaysian got so many pantang larang, for example. And sometimes we may be saying like, oh, what a ridiculous thing. For example, as simple as that, whenever they are about to organize any festive or any feast, kenduri kendara, for example, they don't want the raining season kan, tak nak ada hujan masa hari kenduri, for example. What they did, perhaps not nowadays, but as far as I consider, there are still the people, the Malay, who are practicing this. They will be throwing the used clothes onto the rooftop. Faham tak? Diorang ni ambil baju yang dah pakai, let me to speak in Malay. Diorang ambil baju yang dah pakai, diorang lempar atas atap. I don't know what is actually the rationale behind this action, but they believe that by putting this used clothes, they will could like stopping the rain lah, macam tu lah, kind of that thing. So ridiculous tak? Kalau lah kata tak nak the rainy day or whatnot, just perform solat sunat hajat congregationally lah kan, minta dengan Allah, as simple as that. Not to believe in all of those things. Okay, please be careful, extra careful with our custom, especially in Malay, lots of custom. What more to expect in marriage ceremony kan, kahwin esok nanti you all nanti nak kahwin kan, we tengok okay, not to say that you have to be rude with your own adult party in your family, bukan nak suruh you be rude. No, it's actually haram. No, but we have to harmonize lah. Oh mom, oh auntie, that's actually not good in our religion. There's actually nothing lah. We just need to believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to give the mau'izatil hasanah. Alright? So you are the one who need to practice the mau'izatil hasanah later on, insyaAllah. Alright, so the second part is actually whenever Luqman al-Hakim advised his son to perform the prayer, he did not mention perform the prayer, but he mentioned what? What did he mention? Sorry? What did he mention about the prayer? Sisters and brothers, what did he mention? establish the prayer. Instead of performing the prayer, he mentioned establish the prayer. What he mentioned establish the prayer besides of performing the prayer? Because most of the Muslims, they just perform the prayer because they have to perform the prayer, not because the essence of the prayer itself. That is why so many the performer of the prayer, the regular prayer, they still misbehaving. They still committing any sin or evil. Na'udzubillah min zalik. Even though Allah mentioned, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, Inna salata tanha anil fahsya'i wal munkar. Allah already mentioned about that. But they are still using that kind of misbehavior. They are conducting this sin, mistake dan maksiat because of they are not really manifest the salah. They are not establishing the salah. They are just performing the salah because they're just being told to do so. If you are really establishing the salah, it's actually like you are leaving the salah itself outside the prayer. You are still manifesting the essence of salah even you are not longer in the prayer. For example, as simple as that, brothers and sisters, you are going to observe your aura, your garment as you are actually performing your prayer. As simple as that. You are not going to wear the short pant to the market, to the stadium, and same goes to the sister. You are going to cover the aura as you are going to perform the prayer. There should not be any problem like, oh, I can perform the prayer because I did not bring my telekuk. I did not bring my kain pelekat and etc. Because you are all the time ready to solat. Solat to go, for example. That is actually the establishing the prayer. All right, as simple as that, how lovely Luqman al-Hakim performing or conveying the message or in the method of Mau'izatil Hasanah. Can you get it, my dear sisters and brothers?
Yes, Ustazah.
Yes, madam.
Let's okay, and only we are about to know what is actually the good definition of Mau'izatil Hasanah. So basically, it's already clear just now as what we discussed. Mau'izatil Hasanah basically came literally from the word of wa'aza ya'izu wa'azan, insatan, advice, guidance, education, nurture, and reminder. And for sure, Hasanah, I think every one of you are good in Arabic. Alhamdulillah. Hasanah is actually good, beautiful, perfect. And this is actually something that go against the antonym is sayyi'ah. Every one of us are aiming for husnul khatimah, isn't it? The good ending of ourselves. And nowadays, we are not only to say that, oh, that belongs to only the adult. No, because as far as what we've concerned, there are a lot of the youngsters that been called by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to return to Him recently, kan? Sekarang ni ramai orang yang meninggal bukannya orang tua, kan? Orang muda. And happen to our former students. Masya Allah, we can see. This is actually the very good ending lah for them. My former student, a few of them already be with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala nowadays. In a very good ending, Masya Allah. Up to the moment, we may be thinking like, what are the goodness that being performed by these students until Allah lovely call upon them to be with Him, and how will be with our good and how will be with our ending, and hopefully every one of us will be granted a good ending, inshallah. Husnul Khatimah. Okay, and coming back to this one. And some of the tafsir experts, they mention that Mau'izatul Hasanah is actually something that to leave something back or back. This through advice, which is targhib and prohibition. Whenever you are encourage them to do this, and then you are actually warn them not to do that, this is something like al-amru bil ma'ruf wa nahyu anil munkar, to call people to do the good thing and also to ask the people to leave the bad thing. that is actually being prohibited by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. And another thing is actually Mu'izah is the explanation which may soften the soul and touch the heart. And for sure, whenever you are saying something from your heart, it will reach to other heart. And the sincerity need to involve, inshallah. All right. So, and then this Mau'izatul Hasanah is actually, we can call as the friendly words. All right. And some sit advice, warning with sanctions. Some call it as amar and nahi in the form of tarhib, encouragement and tarhib. You encourage, it's kind of the motivation, you know, and the motivation is really important in our life. That's why we maybe say that some of the people, even the youngster, they already been tested with the depression, the mental health problem, and etc. Because of the you know, the lack of this motivation in the life. And as a human being, as a normal human being, we are really need this kind of motivation. All right, not to be demotivated. So this is about the continuously reminding people, calling to the good way and avoiding Allah's prohibition until people can fully manifest Allah in every single aspect in their life. And as I mentioned by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, indeed Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam get used to give advices in variety ways so that people will not get bored or avoiding the advice. So my dear sisters and brothers, I want to ask you as a student, how to apply the da'wah and how to convey the message to your own best friend. For example, let's say brothers. Brothers, I believe most of you and every one of you are not involved with the cigarette or e-cigarette. Am I right?
Yes, madam.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
So, let's say it happened to your good friend, best friend, brothers. This is question for brother. I give you the case study. How you are going to, by using this Mau'izatul Hasanah, how you are going to stop them from keep on smoking or vaping, please.
For me, macam saya cuba sampaikan macam mana kita nak sampaikan kebesaran Allah ataupun kita perkenalkan Allah SWT kepada mereka. Kita ceritakan kebesaran Allah SWT supaya apa? Supaya dia kenal Allah SWT bahawa Allah ni adalah Khalik pencipta. Dia lah yang menciptakan kita, dia lah menciptakan matahari. Apa-apa saja yang kita nampak ni semuanya diciptakan oleh Allah tumbuhan, macam-macam jenis tumbuhan semuanya diciptakan oleh Allah SWT. Tidak ada satu pun yang diciptakan makhluk ini langsung tak ada kuasa, Maha kuasanya Allah SWT.
Wait, Ammar, but to tell you the truth, right? Most of them who are smoking or are vaping, they are really knowing about the almightiness of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. In fact, they know everything, and some of them, perhaps they are ustads, they are a good educator, they are good Muslim, but they are still in musola they are giving the preach. Dia orang bagi khutbah, dia orang bagi ni, but in fact when they are at home they are keep on smoking and vaping. So I think there is no such issue, not knowing the creator, not knowing about the power of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Kan, am I right? So how to use this Mau'izatul Hasanah as a brother to stop or to want that or stop lah, you are just wasting your time, you are wasting your money and etc. Please, any one of you.
Madam, can I?
Yes,
try and answer?
Most welcome.
I have my own experience lah. This my friends yang tu. So from my experience, I don't exactly agree with Ammar's way of introducing Allah and everything. I think it's a bit too quick of an option, and I don't think it's the correct way. Oftentimes, a lot of my friends yang go to smoking that I never expected them to. They are usually very well informed with the Allah, Islam, and everything.
Exactly.
But oftentimes, the problems that happen is that they usually are very stressed, too stressed that they resolve it. And usually I try my best to be there for them and listen to their problems so they can reduce, because they know that smoking is wrong. They know it's unhealthy, and I don't think introducing them to Allah immediately, introducing them to Islam is a good option. I think they would only make them go further away to the wrong end. I think we should slowly fix them first.
Yes, exactly. Very good, Nuruddin. So what did you move further? How did you help them out?
When I have my time, I always try and tell them that if they have anything in their mind, I'm always free. Please tell me your problems, and I also always tell them a lot that I don't exactly like smoking. So in that way, they would also respect my my problems with smoking lah. But I don't. But even though I have a problem with it, I won't crucify them or I won't hunt them down for smoking.
Exactly, yes. Even though we are actually trying to be soft with them, but still you have to be firm with them so that they will also respect with their own condition. Very good, Nuruddin. Other than that, is there anyone of you got any idea, or perhaps you also experienced the same thing like Nuruddin before? Yes, perhaps. Because as what we discussed earlier, Mu'izzatul Hasanah is not only about giving the advice, it's also about the stories, it's also about the good instruction, isn't it? How you are going to help them out? Anyone? Yes, this is what being meant. Mau'izatul Hasanah in a way of advices, guidance, which is teaching or education. Like there are a lot of articles that we can share with them, the stories, the good news, and reminder. Wasiyah, the positive words. Other than that, is there anyone of you got the idea? Perhaps sister, also you can say something about this. Perhaps you may experience when dealing with your own family members. Anyone?
Cerita tentang kisah sahabat tu gitu.
Sorry? Yes, you can. You can share. As what been shared by some of my student before, whenever he dealt with his own family member, started from smoking, very heavy smoker, he started to give the special present to his this family member who are heavy smoker just now, the weed. Kan asalnya smoking kan, and then it's not to just directly becoming, don't to be judgmental, because this person, as what we mentioned by Nuruddin just now, they are smoking out of stress. Sometimes it's not because of only to do it because of his own intention, but because of the pressure sometimes, as well as his own depression, distress, and etc. Okay, and then it may not be that effective if you are preaching them about the about the side effect, the bad effect of smoking and etc. In fact, at the cigarette punya box tu pun dah ada gambar yang scary tu pun kan. So but they still keep in contact with the cigarette. And then from the smoking, he gave the vaping vape so that it can just reduce lah the activities, and later on, because the smoker sometimes they are not that good to be with the e-cigarette later on kan, and later on he also gives some of the like like the he always asks this person to join his leisure activity frequently so that he would at least gradually to leave this kind of smoking and etc. And you are having a lot of this. You can just also tell the story about your own friend that perhaps get the very, you know, very bad effect from the smoking and etc. You can just do it. Like the sister as well, for example, my dear sisters, how could you help your friend that not really observe the aura, particularly not in CFS, they wear the scarf, the headgear, but outside the CFS, they might not be wearing the headgear. How could you help your BFF? Sisters? By using this Mau'izatul Hasanah.
Give them present of tudung.
Give the tudung as present. Yes, very good. What else? If happened to you, your best friend, how to help them? Mana sisters ni? There are a lot of sisters here.
Madam?
Yes.
Kalau bagi saya, mungkin kalau kat luar dia macam tak pakai tudung kan, dekat sekolah dia pakai tudung, so mungkin saya akan sentiasa puji dia kalau dia pakai tudung cantik, sopan, dan semoga terbuka hati dia untuk terus pakai tudung kat luar juga.
Mashallah, what a lovely one. Yes, exactly, because people, they really love the compliment, right? Is anyone of you not dislike any compliment? Tak suka bila orang puja je macam, kau ni macam rasa nak marah, ada tak? Deep inside your heart, you are actually in need of that compliment. What more to expect when your own beloved one compliment over you? Masya Allah, what a good view of you. Masya Allah, how lovely you are, isn't it? Bagi hadiah tudung and then keep on complimenting. Betul. Perempuan especially, they really love this kind of good words, kan? This is actually among the wasiah, positive words. Or you are actually having the power of social media right now, kan? Keep on posting your picture and your picture together with your friend just now, whenever she is actually wearing the tudung. Betul tak? Fatina Syafiqah, you keep on posting, ya Allah, you keep on puji in media, so that dia akan rasa macam, oh lah, cantik juga aku pakai tudung. I started to be consistent with that. Masya Allah, very good. You already got the strength of Mau'izatul Hasanah. Masya Allah. And then I think there's no need anymore to discuss about it because you already got the essence of Mau'izatul Hasanah, Al-Qawlul Rafuq, affectionate greetings. You are using your language to meet the people in a very attentive way, Masya Allah, because the gentle words will be the strong weapon to call people to be with you, as what we mentioned, what we portray by Luqmanul Hakim, the tongue and the heart. Okay, and what we meant by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, one of the method of this Mau'izatul Hasanah is actually through advices, whereby Allah mentioned, even Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala said that Illal ladhina amanu wa amilus salihat wa tawassaw bil haqq wa tawassaw bis sabr. And indeed, our religion, Islam, is actually ad-dinu nasiha, the religion of nasiha, to always keep on giving the advice, to remind one to another, to remind bil haqq, to remind bil sabr, about the truth, about the patient. All right, and the next one about the guidance and teaching. Yes, whereby Allah mentioned, O Messenger, announce that which has been revealed to you from your Lord, and if you do not, then you have not conveyed His message. Meaning to say, my dear sisters and brothers, whenever you are getting any new knowledge, please spread it out. That is why there are a lot of YouTubers nowadays. There are a lot of demonstration nowadays. There are a lot of even the video of unboxing this, unboxing that, to compare this gadget with this gadget. This is about to guide, to inform us about about the knowledge about something. That's very good. And there are a lot of the cooking tutorials. You can just find which menu, which figure you want to follow, etc., etc. And this is really good. This is a part of Mau'izatul Hasanah, mashallah. Okay, and then the stories. Yes, Allah mentioned about the story, and if we had will, we could have elevated him thereby by his idea to the earth and for his own desire. And so his example is like that of the dog. If you chase him, he pants, or if you leave him, he still pants. So that is actually the example. And also in the story, in the Surah Luqman just now, and also in Surah Yusuf, how Allah beautifully story about the journey of Prophet Yusuf in the very beginning until the final phase of him, started with the point that he been envied by his own siblings, and later on how Allah saved him upon his patient from the very bad condition to be in prison. Later on, he became one of the minister that being appointed by the non-Muslim himself, by the king during that particular moment, mashallah. All right, and then good news and reminder for sure. Allah mentioned, indeed we have sent you Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam with the truth as a bringer of good tidings and a warner. Inna arsalnaka bil haqqi bashiran wa nadhira. The becoming of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to offer the good news as well as to offer the reminder, not to do this, not to do that. And then a prophetic example on Mau'izatul Hasanah. What surah mentioned about the sick do recover, the missing do return, the trials are eased, and the sad become happy. What surah? Anyone of you know about surah?
Surah Yusuf.
Yes, exactly, Surah Yusuf, the very perfect surah, and you know the whole life journey of Prophet Yusuf being exemplified in that particular surah, mashallah. The sick do recover whenever his father, Prophet Yaqub salam, truly miss him. Every day cry over him after missing him because of the misbehavior of his sibling up to the moment his sight being taken temporarily, isn't it? Nangis sampai hilang penglihatan. Masya Allah, na'udzubillah min zalik. And rindu, but later on, they missing the return. The trials are eased, as what happened to Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. Alright? Inna ma'al usri yusra. There is no such difficulty without its easiness, inshallah, and the sad become happy. And then what prophet that can be associated with this picture? What prophet? What do you think?
Yaqub.
Sorry?
Yeah, Nabi Yaqub.
Nabi Yaqub. Not that accurate.
Allah Akbar. Nabi Ibrahim.
Nabi Ibrahim.
MashaAllah, very good. Nabi Ibrahim, can you see how do you gain this idea? How do you gain this point of knowledge? Because of the story that being told by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala in Quran, right? So yes, exactly. Allah mentioned in Surah Ibrahim, Allah said, "O fire, be coolness and safety upon Ibrahim. Kulna ya narukuni bardan wa salaman ala Ibrahim." Masya Allah. And in fact, the fire, the very, very big fire, still cannot be able to harm Prophet Ibrahim salam by the will of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. So this is actually Prophet Absolute Mau'izatul Hasanah's sincerity and loyalty to his mission, despite the terrible odds of the Prophet was able to gather followers. So this is also what happened to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. How he softly approached. He never been forcing his beloved uncle of Abu Talib. Isn't it? Even until the final verse of Abu Talib, he was not embraced Islam. But Prophet Muhammad tried his best out of the best. And what we mentioned by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, still the guidance came from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. We can never change the heart of the people, but at least we can become the agent of the transformation, inshallah. Okay, and the next one. Okay, prophetic example on Mu'izzatul Hasanah is actually a young Quraysh man came to Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, and he said, "O Messenger of Allah, give me permission to commit adultery." Seriously? The companions turned to rebuke him. So everybody was like, macam, very shocked. How come you dare to ask Prophet the approval of doing that misbehavior, that sinful act? And then Prophet, Prophet was very calmly to say, "Oh, it's okay. Come here, my dear bro." The young man came close and sit down. The Prophet said, "Would you like that for your mother?" The man said, "No." The Prophet said, "Would you like that for your daughter?" The man said, "Oh, of course no." The Prophet said, "Would you like that for your sister?" And the man said, "No." The Prophet said, "Would you like that for your aunts?" The man said, "No." And the Prophet placed his hand on him and said, "Will Allah forgive his sins, purify his heart, and guard his chastity?" After that said Abu Umamah, after receiving this question from the Prophet, the young laughed and became the purest man among other men in Medina. MashaAllah, how lovely the method being used by Prophet Muhammad SAW in portraying or in warning that particular man from committing adultery. MashaAllah. Could you imagine if that happened to us? Somebody is asking our permission to steal, for example. We might be saying any kind of harmful word to him, isn't it? Na'udzubillah min zalik. And then also about the poor woman's daughter during the time of Al-Khattab radiallahu, she forbade her mother who insisted to add some water to the milk, seeing the milk that day and was not enough for the expenses. The very good advice. And the Prophet Muhammad said, "How wonderful is the effect of the believer, for his affairs are all good and is applied to none but the believer." So if something good happens to him, he's thankful for it. And if something bad happens to it, he bears it with patience, and that is good for him. So our strong weapons nowadays, there are a lot of weapons that you can use, and even you are actually the mastermind of your own social media. You can use that your social media to implement or to manifest this Mu'izzatul Hasanah. As simple as you keep on doing the good posting in your Instagram posting, in your Facebook posting, in your Twitter, in your TikTok, and etc. Right? And we have to balance between the need of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as well as our need, the social, the physical, our mental, emotion, and all in all, we have to pay the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as well as the right of our own self. And because of we are not Islam is not that cruel to only prioritize the need of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to God-centered, but also Islam is actually catered that much our human-centered, and that is why Mu'izzatul Hasanah is really needed in this particular situation, this particular to balance this both relationship between Rabbani and God-centered as well as the human-centered. All right, and last but not least, please, my dear sisters and brothers, enjoy being wise, beneficial, and good exemplar. And this is most important part whenever you are having the non-Muslim friends, perhaps, because the non-Muslim, they are not reading the Quran exactly. They are in denial in believing of Allah, but they are reading our behavior, they are reading our conduct, they are reading our attitude. So enjoying to spread the good words, you have to walk the talk, as the good word is actually better than tremendous charity. Okay, I leave you with the last clip. I think we are still having the ample time. Wait.
Remember, spending is not only monetary. You can spend so many things in the cause of Allah. You can give in kind. And at the same time, you can spend from your character. What's the point of giving money, but you have bad character, bad behavior, you brag, you hurt people? Allah says, قول معروف ومغفرة خير من صدقة يتبعها أذى. To say a good word and to forgive people is better than a charity that is followed by bad words.
Inshallah. Alright, so last but not least, to give the charity is actually good. But to see something good is better than charity if you are not able to get the other's heart, or you keep on saying something harmful to the other people. Alright, and I believe one of you will be the good servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the good sons, the good daughters, and the good student, inshallah. So with that, thank you everyone. I'm so sorry for any kind of inconvenient cause or any kind of shortcoming came from me. So enjoy your weekend, and hopefully something that you came from the whole session of Ibadah camp will be manifested and will be forever live in your heart, inshallah. Thank you everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And I pass back to our dear MC. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, Ustazah Tuan Nur Shazni, for the enlightening talk. So if any one of you have any question regarding the talk just now, you can just unmute your mic now or write it in the chat box. Anyone?
They are eager to have lunch already.
Yeah, all right. So before we are going to a break, let us take some pictures with Ustazah Tuan Nur Shazni. So everyone may open their camera now.
This is the best part of having the online session.
Come
Come on, let's take a Wi-Fi together.
Everyone, open your camera. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you, Madam. So we will take a break now, and we will meet all of you again for the third session at 1:50 p.m. So thank you so much, Madam, and thank you everyone.